Alrighty, folks, we are lucky to have him. Jason Pritchard, he again is on my personal Mount Rushmore of investors, which means he is the best of the best. Jason, thanks for coming back, man. How you doing?
I am doing great, Zuber. Happy New Year's. Thanks to be back on here. It's good to see your face again, my friend.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, Happy New Year. Since we're talking about that, how did 2024 go for you?
2024 was, I would say, our best year ever for lots of different reasons. I want to give some of the people that are watching a little bit of context about the growth that my team and my company's been on the last couple of years. So I'd say 2 years ago, I was very much, I wasn't a solopreneur. We had a good team in place, but I was still very much involved in my business on a day-to-day basis, especially on the acquisition side. And in the last 2 years, we have grown significantly. It was an intentional growth on my part. We spent a lot of time, effort, and money, but we've gone from 6 people, including myself, to now 16 people on my team. And we've gone from about $20,000 to $25,000 a month in overhead expenses to now we're floating somewhere between $90,000 to $100,000 a month between payroll, marketing, systems, processes, data, all the different things that we have. Yeah, it's been a wild ride. This is my first year where I have definitely been in the owner's seat more than ever before. We've got a leadership team in place. We've got some really cool things going on, man. We did 86 contracts this year. We sold 78 deals. We put up some really big numbers. Yeah, it was a pretty good year, dude. Really, really good, and proud of the team and proud of the growth that we've had.
Again, folks, this is why Jason is on my personal Mount Rushmore of investors. And again, he didn't roll out of bed doing this, right? What year is this?
10 years. This is 10 years. Yeah, we're just over 10 years for me, man. And so it's been interesting. Jennifer and I were, we've talked about these last 2 years, and we're just honestly just proud of ourselves. And we've talked openly about some of the challenges that I think a lot of people faced and that we faced, in 2022, beginning of 2023. We had some difficulties with the shift in the market. We had some growing pains. We had some difficulties with people that were just working on our team that were just not the right fits. And we overcame a lot of obstacles. And I temper everything that I'm saying. We didn't get lucky because it was all intentional and it was all a lot of hard work. But I also know lots of people are struggling in our business right now too. So I'm really grateful for everything that we've done. And it's just been a really cool experience over the last 2 years to see how far we've come and how far we've both grown.
Yeah, well, let's just talk about that for a minute, because again, I don't think you're giving yourself enough credit, you and your wife enough credit. I've said this out loud. I don't know if I said it to you, but I've said it to Omar and the other guys who kind of are in the same business as you. Is there was a lot of easy money out there.
Oh yeah.
For several years, and it brought out all kind of pretenders and grifters and just wannabe entrepreneurs who were addicted to quick money.
Yep.
And you've never been about the quick money. You've been about process, procedure, learning. And that's why, we have evidence. You and I talked after that hard year or hard month. I think it was January of 23.
Yep.
You lost like 6 figures.
$100,000 right out of the gate to start the year. Yeah, that was a rough start. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, let's go take a hole down 100 grand, right? But you don't take that stuff sitting down. You evaluated the business. You pivoted. In real estate, a month pivot is quick, right?
Yep.
This ain't stock trading, because you already had inventory. You already had inventory on the shelf that you overpaid for, given that the market changed. And it was like, okay, how do we make that as little as possible? And then the other thing you did is you changed your business. For years, it was profitable to be a flipper, right? The longer a project took, the more money you made, right? The market was just going straight up. And you made a huge business decision. You called your shot, and you went from being, 80-20 to 50-50. And, I don't know where you're sitting today, but that's a leader, right? That's a business. All these quick people that are hurting today, they just kept trying to do the same thing. It's like, the market changed, guys. Wake up.
Yeah. And we've talked about it a lot. I trace that willingness to adapt and pivot back to my experience, the 15 years that I spent in corporate America, and
for sure, having
the goalposts constantly change with compensation packages and goals and initiatives that you're doing. Right. And I was just always used to, there has to be something new. And I'd experienced that in the real estate business, but the shift that we had in 23 was really kind of by force more so than anything else. But I was open to the pivot. I was open to adapting, and I pride myself in my willingness to adapt. But the other reason, and this is probably the more important reason, when you lose $100,000, it's easy to be like, hey guys, we need to go back to the drawing board, right? Because obviously something's not working. But some people didn't have the financial runway to take a loss like that and then allow the pivot and the changes that you're going to make to actually take hold and see any fruit from that. And so I think looking back, we talk about it a lot. One of the best decisions that I make was to delay gratification and plow so much money into building a moat around our business and our personal life financially. And we liquidated like 4 or 5 properties. And these were properties that had a ton of equity that just didn't fit into like our long-term vision of like what we were holding. And in 6 months, I think we had $400,000 or $500,000 just, from strategically just selling those things off. And it's much easier to sleep at night and quote unquote pivot when you've got, when you've got cash in the bank and you can actually buy yourself some time, man. And so I think that's been one of our saving graces. It's allowed us to not only make all the changes that we talked about at the beginning, right? But also weather some of the storms that we went through, man. So yeah, it's been good.
Yeah. And again, then you go into this growth strategy. You realize 2024 is when I look back at 2024, and I know a lot of guys in your space, it was a really hard year. But again, if you own that and you set up the business and you pivot into it, it could be an amazing year because again, your competition goes down. Motivated sellers are still out there. You just keep doing what you're doing into that, and you have the best year ever. It's what happened.
The way that I looked at it is exactly what you said when we started this conversation. A lot of the fly-by-night people, I could just sense for lots of different reasons, those people were starting to get weeded out of the business. You know what I mean? And so I saw that happening in front of my eyes. Like you just said right now, it's not like real estate is just going to stop and come to a standstill. There's always going to be buying and selling. And I made an intentional decision with me and my team to say, hey, this is going to be our opportunity to pick up some market share. And we are going to go in and we're going to be aggressive when people are being hesitant and pulling back, or maybe don't have the financial firepower to like really lean in and start doing some of the things that we're doing. And I just said, let's just take a calculated risk. We're going to invest in the team. We're going to grow the team. We're going to train the team. We're going to pay for coaching. We're going to pay to be around people that, can help us get to the next level, because those are the people that you want in the foxhole, right? You want the other people that are thriving, right? And so we intentionally put ourselves in those rooms with people, and it's a bet that paid off for us big time.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about getting in the right rooms. We have the ORAD event coming up February 14th and 15th. We have just under 90 tickets available. I've actually taken the room size from 400, which would have been too cramped, to 300. So we got just under 90 tickets left. Who do you think should be at this event? You were at the first. You are coming back to the second with your wife. So shout out Jen, and she's helping me, by the way, put on an awesome event. So Jen, thank you very much. But who should
shout
be
out
there,
to Jen Pritchard? It's these type of events, and it's interesting talking about the 10 years that I've been in this. I've been coming to events like this, meetups, those type of things since the very beginning, and I think your event is the right fit for everybody across the spectrum. So I'm going to start with some of the newer investors, and then we'll work down the line. If you're new, right, you just need to be around other people that are like-minded, right? That you can, you hear the thing, you're the 5 people, you're the average of the 5 people that you spend your time with. And most of us at the beginning, I know for us, this was true too. Our friends and the people that we're spending most of our time with were not wired like us when it came to real estate. So you need to start finding people that you can, not fully replace your friend group, but you guys all get what I'm saying, right? Like you need to start forming a new top 5 for real estate people. And those are the best places to do it. Some of the longest lasting, most impactful relationships that I've ever made have come from those type of events. And simultaneously, you're just going to learn a lot. Right? You're going to pick up things from the speakers. You're going to pick up things from other people that are there that will just, really help move the needle in your business. Right. And then you can go all the way down to the other end of the spectrum. Like me, my approach when I go to events, and we go to a ton, even now. Right. And we just got done talking about spending a lot of money to go to these things. And it's all about relationships for me. For me, it's all about, can I find and meet that one person or two people, right, that I can develop the relationship, nurture it over time. And, those are the things that open doors for you in the future. I mean, look at us, man. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, we've met through these type of things. And now this has been like, one of my closest friends in the real estate game, even just in general in real life, dude. And so it's like, we have that ability to make connections too. So I think it's going there with the intent to learn, but also the intent to really make those relationships. I think those are going to be the big things.
Yeah. When I think about these events, and I kind of break down the group into, like you have zero, but interest.
Yep.
You have, you're in the first 5 years, and then you're kind of in that, the third one is the kind of growth.
That's a good way to do it.
Yeah. Kind of figured it out. But there's one thing that I think is really important for the folks that have zero or they're just starting. Maybe they have one. Is, near as I can tell, the only event I have ever been to where most of the time is audience driven is my event. As you remember, right? You kicked off. You were the first speaker ever. You and your wife, Jen, as a matter of fact, were the first speakers to open the event. You went on for about 20 to 25 minutes talking about hilarious stories, and Jen pulled out the receipts about text and emails. And then you had questions, right? The audience lines up and asks you questions.
Yep.
So if you're coming to my event, I've already told you who's speaking. I got a couple of surprises, so there's a couple you don't know. But then you could prepare questions. Like, people know that Matt, the lumberjack landlord, and his wife are going to be on day one. So if you ever wanted to ask him a question, get ready to line up and ask him questions. And then the guy, when you're kind of in the business, that audience, as we learned last year, is full of people, to your point, going in the same direction.
Yeah.
Just network, ask questions of people. You'd be amazed at the friendships you can make there, right? You there?
I'm there. Yeah, you froze up a little bit on my end now. Yeah, we're back.
It's technology. Did you hear me?
I know. I heard you. Yeah. It's the momentum piece that you get from the people that are there. Absolutely, man. I agree with you 100%. That momentum builds, and it's really the game changer that you need, and it's the secret sauce that you need in your business for sure.
Yeah. And then there's two other things that kind of, I think, make my events probably similar to others, but we're having general admission, very low price, and then VIP. Really, the biggest difference with the VIP is you get 6 hours of networking with the speakers, right? My job is to feed the speakers, feed all the millionaires that are coming. You guys will be up in the VIP section. But you're going to get 6 hours in a room of maybe 100 people, including 30 of the millionaires. So 70 guests, and you'll be able to network and even, go deeper with folks.
And here's been my thought process when I go to these things, and this isn't an intentional plug to try to buy the VIP ticket, but I've always, me personally, spent for the VIP ticket because it puts you in proximity with the people that are doing the things that you want to do. And when you are, and I've been on both sides, right? I've been the speaker and I've been the ticket holder. And when you're the speaker and you see that, you just know that this person is there with the goal of doing more. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, I'm going to remember this person. You're going to stand out a little bit more. I'm going to make myself a little bit more accessible and available to this person in the future. If they reach out to me on social media, I'll remember that connection. And I can't tell you how many times, like, making myself stand out by just making that investment to say, hey, like, I know that if I put myself in proximity with the higher level people, it's going to, be good for me and good for my business. So I've always been good about that. And if that doesn't work for you, just get there. Just get there and let the magic happen. As long as you're there and you show up, I think good things will happen.
Yeah, that's the other point. Even if you don't want to do VIP, which is totally fine, it's only for 70, 80 people, so no big deal. There's going to be 220 general admission. That's just the ratio that I have. And the other thing I was going to say is my speakers don't fly in, fly out. Yeah. Right. We may have one keynote session from somebody who will drive in and then likely leave. I'm still working on that, but everybody else, they're going to be there for the duration. And, if you're not in the VIP room, it's okay. There'll still be plenty of time to, go find Jason or Jen or, Matt or whoever. So I really look at this event more as a celebration, right? Our first one was celebrating, 50,000. I kind of look at this as a celebration. My goal putting this on is to celebrate the millionaires like you, give you flowers, give you some sun, but also celebrate the people in the room who are commenting and interacting. And this is just my yearly give back to the audience.
I love it, dude. That you have such an amazing community, man. And it's these types of things. It's the glue that keeps everybody stuck, because it's hard. And right now it's like, I'm not going to sit here and act like this was an easy real estate market for anybody, because it wasn't. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why these types of things become that much more important. Like, you go there, you opt in and become a part and a member of a community. And you have this glue that helps you when you have questions, when you have concerns, when you need that. That was always a struggle for me, Zuber, was as my real estate journey started to ascend, the amount of people that I could talk to about wins or losses or anything in between, like that, that circle just gets smaller and smaller the more successful that you become, because you can't go be like, well, yeah, I've got, I bought my 7th rental, but I'm having an issue with the tenant. And if you talk to somebody that's not real estate related, it's going to be like, oh, great. You know what I mean? Like, must be nice to get 7 rentals, right? And so it's, you just have to intentionally put yourself around those people. And I think I just cannot stress how big of a game changer that's been. And people say, networking and relationships and go do all that stuff. And you don't really know what that means. At least I didn't at the beginning. And if you were like Jason at the beginning, where you just like, okay, great. I don't really like networking. I'm kind of an introverted person. Just take my word for it. Just show up, right? Put yourself outside of your comfort zone, and you'd be amazed. Like, successful people are actually some of the nicest, most giving, most willing to share their time. I think sometimes there's this misconception about people that are like, well, he's going to be a jerk, or he's not going to have any time for me. And if anything, I'll just speak for myself. I will go out of my way and stay and talk to the last however long it takes. If we got to be there all day, then we will be there all day. It doesn't matter, because I can remember being Jason in the back of the room and standing back there and being nervous and not being confident to ask questions and stuff. And I don't want people to feel like that. And I think we've got this really cool, these really cool communities that really help people, with their businesses. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, the things, one rental at a time. What you're doing at Deal Champs, I'll say it this way, and I'll let you pile on. Most of my time, kind of building out this community, whether it, because what I've done with One Rental at a Time, the YouTube channel, is I've purposely built a Rolodex of millionaires that I like to talk to, and I believe are go-givers. There are plenty of people that reach out to me that basically want to sell to my community, or want to do some kind of grift, or, hey, the number of people that have reached out to me and said, hey, can you help me with this, that, or the other? I'll give you 50%. You guys would be shocked. I say no to all of those things.
Yeah.
I want no part of those things. But when you're part of a group and you're just bringing on more go-givers, that's fun. I mean, you just joined my school community. Yourself, so that's cool. That's pretty awesome. You actually created stuff that's at level 2. So you recorded a seller call. You have some training there. Awesome stuff. But a sample of this is, I now have 6. I'll call them masterminds or accountability groups. Whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
There are 6 different ones in my community that I never attend. Right? We have Ladies of ORAT. Shout out all the ladies. We have out-of-state investing. We have agents and brokers, right? And then we have just 3, generic accountability groups. I'm not paying anybody for these.
Yeah.
That's just awesome to see that people raise their hand and go, hey, I want to see if we can do this. I want to see.
I love that, dude. And we've had similar experiences with our community here locally. And it's really cool to see people see, when they make that investment in themselves, how it impacts them, and then they turn around and pay it forward, talking about that go-giving mentality, right? Yeah. And, it always comes full circle when you do that. When you lead with value and your intent is to help other people with no strings attached. And that's always been my intent. I don't need or care or ask for anything. It's just, here you go, and it always comes back some way, some shape or form, man. It's been really cool to see that.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Well, Jason, I know you're going to be there. What are your kind of closing thoughts to folks that are on the fence about going? What would you tell them as we wrap this up?
I would say if you have hesitation, and I know what that feels like, even now, it's like, for me, I'm super busy and it's like, I don't know if I have time to go to this thing. And every single time I have that little voice in my head that says, I don't know, maybe you don't need to go to this thing. Like things are good right now. And then I go, I always either meet a person or get one little golden nugget or something comes out where I feel like, man, dude, I'm really, really happy that I attended this event. And I think just knowing how amazing the ORAC community is and knowing all the cool people that are going to be there, I think it's got to be one of those things that's got to be on your calendar for every year. You know what I mean? And just plan on being in Vegas and going out and seeing you. I'm excited. Jen and I are going to be there for the whole thing. And so we're looking forward to meeting and connecting with as many people as we can.
Jason, you are amazing. I look forward to seeing what you guys get done in 2025. Again, folks, his website's been up here this whole time because, again, Jason Pritchard is a go-giver. Site, he gives so much stuff away for free. It is amazing. What can they find there?
Yeah, just go to my website and we give away right on the very first page. There's a link to click and download a free toolkit. It's every single tool and resource that we use in our business, not watered down light versions of them. It's the stuff that my team and I use every day to analyze deals, all of the stuff that we have with private lending, all the scripts that we use to talk to sellers. There's a 10-page step-by-step guide. If you need an actual blueprint to get started and you want to do the same type of business that we're doing, it's all up there available for free, jasonpritchard.com. If you have any questions, you can reach me on Instagram or Facebook. I answer all my DMs. I'd be happy to help with any questions that I can.
Do me a favor, folks.